Sean Payton has made this season about him. Ooh. He made week 1 about him, and they look just like the Nat Hackett Broncos.
Oh. If you're Sean Payton, you're staring at Russell Wilson's contract. You got to solve your stuff.
This was the worst game he's played as a Bronco.
All right, Denver Broncos fans, let's get into this. We're going to be open and we're going to be honest. This is a intervention, if you will, about your chances this season. So if you're looking for some inspirational, beautiful, la-di-da-di-da video regarding your Denver Broncos, head over to another channel. There's a lot of great ones out there. This one's going to be the nitty-gritty, the real deal. So, of course, you just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs Thursday Night Football. Embarrassing fashion in a sense that was your 16th consecutive loss to the divisional rival, the Kansas City Chiefs. Disgusting, embarrassing, we move on. Because there's something we got to dissect here from that 19-8 tumble in Week 6. The defense, they kept Denver in the game. It's not every day you see Vance Joseph's squad, especially in 2023, stifling an offense as potent as the Chiefs. A nod to Jaquan McMillan, who was undeniable in the secondary, and Justin Simmons, who I think is still a dog, who is still a top safety in this league. He is the man who now boasts his 4th career pick off of Patrick Mahomes, which for the record is more than any other player against the Chiefs' future Hall of Famer. This right here gives a glimmer, albeit slight path of hope for the Denver Broncos moving forward. But let's dive a bit deeper into these defensive numbers. Only 13 points allowed in the first half against the Chiefs offense, and let's be honest, this is a type of offense that can light up the scoreboard in blink of an eye. They managed to keep the Chiefs, who we know can put up points, to just 19, marking it to the second fewest points they've allowed this season. Now, if only the Broncos offense could have kicked it into another gear, any type of gear at all, we might be discussing a different type of outcome. You have Javonte Williams and Jaleel McLaughlin out here in Kansas City showcasing what could arguably be coined as a solid 1-2 punch. Williams, the guy gives us 10 rushes, accumulates 15 yards, and punches in a 2-point conversion. McLaughlin, not to be overshadowed, rushes 7 times for 30 yards, plus pulls in 2 receptions for additional 12. It begs the question, had the Broncos not found themselves trailing, could a more heavy run strategy with these two backs have altered the narrative of this matchup? I believe so. Now, shifting gears to Marvin Mims, Boomer Sooner, that's what we love here. The guy is electric on special teams. 2 punt returns totaling 30 yards, with one of those bad boys crucially setting up Denver's initial touchdown in the 4th quarter. If you're the Broncos, the question you've got to be asking is, how do we bottle up that explosiveness and integrate Mims more thoroughly into our offensive schemes? That needs to be the question. He was an absolute threat for all teams in the Big 12 in his college years. There was no debating it. And he is a bullet down the seams. There's an issue with this offensive scheme. They got to figure it out quick because Marvin Mims is a guy and he should be doing a lot more with this offense. And then we have to unpack the fact that you lost Frank Clark. Whatever you might think of him, he is still an NFL talented edge rusher. It seems as if Denver Broncos are very much telling the world, hey, we're tanking for Caleb. We want to go get Caleb. We got to get Caleb. Understanding that the Broncos brought in Sean Payton so the Broncos could win. I don't necessarily think the Denver Broncos are bringing in Sean Payton to force Russell Wilson to work. And we have not even remotely gotten to Russell Wilson and what I think of him. Please stay tuned. This scenario of getting rid of Frank Clark, the Broncos navigating the battleground with just 3 outside linebackers in play. Nick Bonito, Boomer Sooner, Jonathan Cooper, and Ronnie Perkins. Now, Perkins, it was only his 2nd career game, and it was evident. A penalty for a neutral zone infraction and a missed sideline tackle made it very apparent that Perkins might not be primed for significant defensive snaps just yet. With Browning on the horizon for a potential return from IR, which is absolutely massive, and a showdown with the Green Bay Packers looming on October 22nd. The extra downtime this weekend could be pivotal in terms of strategizing and getting players up to speed. Now let's switch our focus to Russell Wilson, and this is the part where I might lose some of you. This might have been one of the roughest outings under Coach Sean Payton. There's no might, it is. 2 interceptions, sacked 4 times, and yeah, the blame doesn't squarely fall on his shoulders. The O-line had its struggles too. Receivers weren't carving out the necessary separation, and some of the play calling raised eyebrows. But here's where the rubber meets the road. If Wilson is going to be the Broncos QB beyond this season, these are the moments where he needs to ascend when the rest of the squad is entangled in struggles. If Wilson can't hoist the Broncos offense onto his shoulders, the eyes may inevitably drift towards a younger and potentially cheaper quarterback option come 2024. So a younger and cheaper option, right? Let's go into a short list of quarterbacks who is being considered. Caleb Williams out of USC, Drake May out of North Carolina, Shedeur Sanders out of Colorado, Bo Nix out of Oregon, Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington. What do these players all have in common is that they all can play as horrible as Russell Wilson has been playing this season. Whoa, Miles, how do you say that? Well, that doesn't help us. It does, because you save money and you get rid of a problem. I'm sorry, but if you guys listen to what his former players are saying about him in Seattle, I understand he might be a good guy, he might be a sweet guy, but hearing so many ex-Seattle Seahawks players talk about how he was in the facility, how he was in the locker room, how he treated them. In case you didn't know, he called Marshawn Lynch from a blocked number. Like, as your starting quarterback and Marshawn Lynch didn't have his number, it's weird, it's whatever. I say get rid of him. I don't think he does anything good for you guys positively. And if there's a way to save money to get rid of him, that needs to be the priority. Because if there's any chance you can get any of the quarterbacks that I just named and you save money, and who cares about the wins, you're putting yourself in the right position, in the best position to move forward. All of these quarterbacks, like I said, that I just listed, can do as horrible as Russell Wilson. And I'm willing to bet that there's a few of them that can definitely do better. So take the shot, take the gamble. I believe that this Denver Broncos team has a legitimate defense. I never agreed with getting rid of Vic Fangio. That's always been an L. Nathaniel Hackett, that's been an L. Denver Broncos aren't some trash organization. John Elway, Peyton Manning, Shannon Sharp, there have been amazing players to walk through Denver, but I don't see them today. And believe it or not, I think Javonte Williams is a dog. I think Jerry Jeudy is a dog. Cortland Sutton, animal. Marvin Mims is hims. And Greg Dulcich actually looks like he could be a legitimate tight end in this league. There is talent here. Case in point, full send, 100% talent. I just think the person in charge of distributing said talent, he's got to go. He's not good enough. He hasn't been good enough. Even when he won his Super Bowls in Seattle, the whole narrative was he was getting carried by his defense. Figure it out. And it starts with that quarterback position. I love Sean Payton and I respect him. Just shut up, play football, get a new quarterback, move on. The quicker you can get a new quarterback in, the quicker the wins will follow. Let me know in the comments if you agree. Like, comment, and subscribe.